Ladies and gentlemen, Jake Mattera.
We're off to a good start. Helium, guys, thank you so much for coming. Give it up for everyone you saw tonight. Pat, Mary, Seamus. Oh man, hello. This is exciting. This is what I decided to wear for you guys, and I'm sorry. I just came from a Roseanne-themed party. That's what it is. I was Becky. It was great. I do feel like I should apologize. I look like a lady about to call the cops on a black family barbecue. I don't like it either, okay? Like, it's insane. This is... like, I'm a whistle away from being an assistant coach to a girls' field hockey team. Got a lot more of them. This is all going to go great for the album, the audio recording. No, I'm excited. I was talking to my friend earlier. She told me she was catcalled. And I have no idea what it's like being catcalled, right? Obviously. But I have been followed by a taxi. For several city blocks. So I get it, you know? No means no, right, ladies? Just a cab driver leaning out the window like, come on, you know you want it. Walk by another taxi, they're like, hey, are your legs tired? I'm like, very much, this is a lot of pressure. They say I'm asking for it, this is my body too. So I started going to the gym, play along, and problem is I hate the gym, right? Number one reason, the effort. That's the number one reason I hate it. The other reason I hate it, and you hear this all the time, the men's locker room, it's like a flash mob of old men penis. It's true. I see some culprits in here tonight, huh? No, it's fine. I like it. I don't like it. I accept it. Not like, gimme. Like, I mean, like, I accept that it happens. And the thing is, like, I can only afford my one Planet Fitness, right? So I see those same people throughout my community. Like one time I was at dinner with my wife, and I saw this guy. You ever see someone you recognize but you don't quite know? So you just, like, give, like, one of those, like a head nod. I did that, and my wife was like, honey, do you know that guy? I was like, no. But I've seen his dick. And you know, he sat back down with his wife, and she's like, honey, do you know that guy? And he's like, no, but he stares at my dick. Weird conversation. Never been a very physical person, you know? Like, I've always battled with my weight. Some would call it a massacre. Like, as a kid, I took karate, but next to my dojo, I'm not making this up, was a bakery. And if I did well in my karate class, my parents got me whatever I wanted from the bakery. I was like, so guess who got his black belt? From big and tall. I can break 20 boards by just standing on them. Parents are proud. They wanted a Chuck Norris, but instead they got a Kung Fu Panda. I was like, what did you expect? You basically conditioned me to kick for cupcakes. You don't want to know what I do for a Klondike bar. I'm not a very cool person. Okay, you guys just accepted that. That bothers me. That really hurt my feelings. I'm not cool. Like, to me, the epitome of cool is smoking, right? Like, I never smoked. Like, I did try it once. I was in 5th grade. I was alone. I wasn't even peer pressured. In fact, the cool kids at my school were like, don't smoke, you'll ruin this for us. Please don't do it. And I remember I was on my way home from school, just rollerblading, and in the middle of the street, still burning, was like a half-smoked cigarette. Lipstick all over it. And I played a lot of video games. When something's on the ground, you pick it up. So I grab it, I take one puff, and then I start to cry uncontrollably. Like a 5th grader that just hit rock bottom. I'm like, what am I doing with my life? I've got no job. Still live with my parents. Have a spelling test tomorrow. I was stressed. I don't know if you've ever seen a chubby 5th grader crying while smoking a used Virginia Slim. The manliest of cigarettes on rollerblades, but it's humiliating. I can still hear the crossing guard laugh through her whistle. That's not a cool person. Like a couple years ago, I went to Universal Studios Hollywood alone, not bragging, and sensing a theme. Waited over 2 hours in line to get on the Mummy roller coaster. Right? Finally, it's my turn to get on. I sit down, go to push the bar down, it wouldn't click. And the guy just watched me struggle too. I'm like, Finally, he snaps his fingers, and like a team of Universal employees just come out of nowhere, and they don't know what to do. So they just start punching my stomach like they're packing a Subaru for a camping trip. They're like, it's gonna fit! They start standing on the bar like log rollers. They're like... Finally, they're like, sir, I'm sorry, you're too big for this ride. You have to leave. It's like, wow. That was more of an emotional roller coaster. If you like. So a couple years ago, I tried to I tried to be cool. I tried to get some tattoos. Now I'm just a dork with a tattoo. That's first tattoo I ever got was of my band's logo, which is a big mistake. Do you see them tonight? No. We didn't even have a logo. So I just went and described something to the guy. I'm like, yeah, it's like a squiggly line with another squiggly line. And he's like, it sounds intricate. He's like, I'll do it. It's going to be $300. I was like, sounds intricate. I love my band. Let's do it. He does the tattoo, wipes it off, looks at it, and is like, you know what? Just give me 60. 300 to 60. I'm pretty sure that's a clearance tattoo right there. I looked at it. It looked like 2 Nike symbols 69ing. I was like, how about 40? He's like, sold! Get out of my van. I'm married to a woman. Thank you. That was very generous. It's cool. It's fine. It's I was allowed to have strippers at my bachelor party, which is whatever. It's fine. She never said anything about the wedding. At the reception, could you imagine the DJ's just like, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the new Mr. and Mrs. Jake Mattera, accompanied by Vixen. First dance cost $35. To Def Leppard's Pour Some Sugar on Me. It was so good, Pop-Up got pink eye. That's how I know. No, things are great though. It's great. My wife likes to keep things fun and exciting. Like the other day, she made me a scavenger hunt, and the only thing I need to find is a job. So, cut that joke. No, no, it's fine. I don't know. I used to think the most embarrassing thing I could ever do was buy KY jelly. I was wrong. It's returning it. It's way more embarrassing. It was a special occasion, Easter. Wish I was kidding right now. I bought it because it's not a reason. You guys don't need to know why I bought it. I had to return it because I was going to overdraw the account. That's not how you want to spend your Easter. It's bad. A lot of my friends are in the same boat, though, not with the KY. A lot of my friends tell me that right now they're living paycheck to paycheck. I'm like, quit bragging. I'm living inheritance to inheritance at this point. My phone goes off in the middle of the night. I'm like, oh my God, let this be it. Aunt Dottie, Aunt Dottie, Aunt Dottie. It's just Verizon. I'm like, I make a promise to pay. I don't know. It's cool. I don't know. I'm bad with money. That's my problem. Like, I wanted to buy a MacBook Pro, a laptop, but my wife said no because it was too expensive. But then she wanted a baby. I was like, let's compromise. How about a hamster and a Toshiba? So now we have a baby. And a hamster, because I wasn't backing down. She had it. It's cool. It's nice. It's fine. It's great. She had it, and then she wanted a push present. If you guys aren't familiar, it's a gift you get when you push someone in the traffic. No, it's it's when you push a baby out, you have to get someone a push present now. Apparently, it's a tradition. I was like, no. First of all, she had a C-section. I know because it ruined her Avengers tattoo. Made Iron Man look like the Joker, No, I'm not a jerk. I had to get her something. You know what I did? I got her a MacBook Pro. That's what I did. Yeah. And a hamster. Well, that's cool. It was our first kid, but we're very excited, Like, when you first find out you're pregnant, you get, like, super excited. You only tell your close friends and family, just in case you don't want to keep it. And, we told our close friends. I told one of my best friends. He was so excited. He came right over to celebrate with us. And then he completely ignored my wife. Like, didn't say anything. And I was like, dude, what's your problem? Like, you didn't even say congrats. And he was like, what? You told me it was a secret. He was like, she knows. She is well aware. Could you imagine if that's how we told her? We're like, honey, now that Jeff is here, have a seat. We have to tell you something about your body. And what are we, senators, right? A lot of my friends don't have kids yet. They don't know what it's like. So I try to explain it to them. I say, it's kind of like getting an Xbox, Because when you first have it, you're like so excited. You can't wait to bring it home and play with it. But it usually just ends with you cursing at a small child. You're like, you better knock it off. I'm going to bang your mom. I don't know. I was terrified of babies before having one. It's crazy. Like, I was like, if there was ever a baby crying, I would just take off. I would just run. Like, you could have probably gotten me to run a 5K if you just jogged behind me with a crying baby. And like, once you have your own, you have to deal with it. You can't just call an Uber to take care of it. So they say. And so I remember, like, first time soothing a crying baby, it felt like a superpower. And it is. It's great. It's like, if you've never done it before, I'll walk you through the steps. Baby starts crying, first thing you do, take off your scream mask. They don't like it. Then just pick it up. That's all. You just bounce it. And that's it. Then it knocks itself out, you put it down, you win. But then I noticed like 20 minutes later, I'd still just be in my living room, just bouncing like an idiot. Like an extra in a rap video. Just like, cut, can we get Bubba Sparks out of there, please? My wife's an amazing mother. She really is. She's the best. We started like showing them these like little cool like PBS things and all that stuff. And I never realized this before, but my wife, she only watches TV in standard definition. Like, it's 2021 now, right? Like, who does that anymore? Like, most TVs like don't even have standard definition. And her excuse is like, I don't know the channels. Like, all you have to do is just like hit the button one more time and it'll redirect you to an HD channel. I'll walk in, she's watching a picture fuzzier than a Bigfoot photo. And she's like, I don't notice a difference. And like part of me is like, really? And then the other part of me is like, oh, thank God, because look at all this. But it got me thinking, like, because like somebody told me like their wife did the same thing, and I was like, I don't know. Like maybe it's just that women, no good sentence starts that way. But hear me out. Maybe it's just that women see in high definition, you know? Like whenever you guys want to go out, you look in the mirror in 4K, like, and you see every flaw and you fix it, and all of you look beautiful. Some of you look beautiful. Meanwhile, I'll go up to this thing in standard def, like, whoa, John Stamos, all right, let's go. The stuff she watches, like when she's alone, not with the kid, she watches Say Yes to the Dress. You guys ever watch that show? It's terrible. What a sad golf clap. We're going to have to redo this whole hour now, guys, for that. Just, you know, Say Yes to the Dress is a terrible show. I wish it was called, like, there was a show called just Say No to the Dress. That would be great. There's a bunch of like boyfriends taking the remote, like, no, changing the channel. I would DVR that show. I wish they only offered an HD. That way she couldn't find it. That would be great. Like last Saturday, she put it on. It was like 10 o'clock in the morning. We didn't stop watching until 2:30 in the afternoon. Then I realized she left at 10:15. That show was addicting, you know? I didn't think Tiffany was going to go with the mermaid cut, but she did. Over budget, mom doesn't care. Randy's like, do it! Say after you have a kid, you start to relate to your parents more. You know, I've heard that a lot. I don't think that's true. Because, like, I love my mom, right? Like, of course I do. She's on speakerphone right now, like, you're doing great! I love my mom, but the biggest difference between me and her is, like, I know how to hang up the phone. You know, my mom will keep me on the line like she's trying to trace the call. Like there's a guy with headphones next to her, just like, keep it going. I'm like, all right, Mom, I love you, I gotta go. She's like, wait, you know your sister Amanda? It's like, what? Guy next to her is like, ask him about the cocaine. I shouldn't joke about that. I should be lucky to talk to my mom, you know? Like some people can't talk to their mom anymore. Well, good night, everyone. That would be the weirdest ending. Like I was watching something on the Dallas Cowboys, on Dak Prescott, the quarterback, right? As an Eagles fan, I hate the Cowboys, but they said this. They said he wears a number on his chest in honor of his mom who had like passed away like 5 years ago. And I heard that, and I'm like, I hate them, but that's kind of cool, right? But then they said that every night before a game, he'll still text his mom that he loves her and wishes she was there to see him play. And that's really sweet. But when you die, your cell phone number doesn't go with you. It just gets reassigned. So that means for the last 5 years, some guy in Louisiana, that's where he's from, I looked it up, is getting a text message from Dallas Cowboy Dak Prescott every week. And they're just looking at their phone like, it's Dak again! What should I say? Love you too, son. I don't know. I miss not having a cell phone. That was the best. Like, I remember as a kid, I would like have an address book. I'd keep it in my Trapper Keeper. It was the best. Like I could tell, like I knew all my friends' phone numbers, and you could tell who I liked more because I could like dial their number faster. Well, today, if you were just to like take my phone and delete my wife's number, and just be like, well, guess I'm not talking to her again. But I could still call my 5th grade girlfriend. 610. I don't know. My before the pandemic, I went to a destination wedding in Florida. My sister got married in Florida. It was a destination wedding. Why? She lives here. I don't know. We have one aunt that lives in Florida, so that's why. So we go to Florida for this wedding, and it's the night before the wedding. Everyone's drinking at the hotel bar. It's a party, and that's the only reason to drink at a hotel bar. There's only two reasons. It's like either you're there for a wedding, or you're there to destroy a marriage. We were there for the good one, okay? So I got hammered. I had like 10 O'Douls, and I decided to go. I decided to go back to my room, and I get to the elevators, and I press the up button. There's only 2 elevators, and only one door opened. But inside, waiting for me, was a pile of poop. Human poop, too. Don't ask me how I know. It's delicious. No. What am I, a tracker? Just like, they were here 10 minutes ago. And I stared at this thing so long that the doors closed. And here's the thing, I'm not judging, right? Like, I've played poop chicken before, and I've lost. I've lost, and it was a home game. I was at home, and I pooped my pants. That's what I'm saying. Eerily similar to the stages of grief, if you've never done it. Like, at first, there's denial, You feel a little something, you're like, no, it's fine. You're just watching The Walking Dead, minding your own business. Then comes anger, because something's about to go down. And you're like, come on! I own this ass! You know how, we all talk to our butts, right? Then comes bargaining, where you just stand up, and you start to sway like you're in the Temptations. And at this moment, you are not too proud to beg. So I'm doing the nursing home 2-step. And at this moment, if anything happens in this situation, you're screwed. And I coughed. That's acceptance right there. Luckily, we just had brown couches, so I sat back down and finished the episode. Hey, don't. Here's the worst part. It's like that I was watching The Walking Dead on a Monday afternoon on my DVR. So I could have stopped it at any point and went to the bathroom like an adult. But no, old Poopy Pants had to try to run in with the devil. I don't know what that means. But. And thinking back, I'm pretty sure the worst part was sitting back down, now that I'm thinking about it. It was embarrassing. I had to clean up the scene like it was a murder scene. I had to clean it up before my wife got home. I felt like the wolf in Pulp Fiction. It's like I need 3 trash bags, a cigarette, and chocolate milk. I don't know why. Took everything to this laundromat by my house and got it cleaned. Thank God, nobody was there. And I'm just waiting for everything to dry and all that stuff. And I'm walking around, there's nobody there. They have this community events board. And on it, they had 3 different flyers for 3 different birthday clowns. In a laundromat. It looked like a board of missing clowns. And I've been in that laundromat a million times. Not once have I seen just a clown at a dryer. Just all right. Mondays, right? So anyway, I'm at the poop elevator in Florida. Doors closed because I stared at it so long. Now I'm like, it wasn't really there. I thought maybe it was just a vision or a premonition, I hit the up button again. Door opens, still there. Now it looks angry. And I do what any self-respecting person would do in this situation. I held my breath. I reached in. I pressed the top floor, and then I yanked my arm out, and I sent it up like it was an offering to the gods. When the elevator got halfway up, I hit the up button again. The other one came down. Felt like I passed a DUI test on expert right there. It's amazing. Here's the thing. I have no shame. I would have gotten in that elevator, no problem. But I was too afraid that I would get in that elevator on one, and then someone got on a higher floor, and those doors open, and they just see me standing next to a pile of poop. And I'm like, oh, no, that's not mine. Please, do come in. Do come in, please. Turns out in Florida, it's code. You have to have poop in your elevator. I didn't know that. I like to travel. I do. I want to go to Yellowstone National Park. And like when I want to go somewhere, I like to do a lot of research on it. And I read this. This is 100% true. Did you guys know you can legally murder someone at Yellowstone National Park? I swear to God, this is 100% true. You can't be anywhere. You can't be at like Old Faithful and be like, that was disappointing. You can't. You have to be in a certain area of the park called the Zone of Death. You can Google this. It's called the Zone of Death. It's just a fancy term for Idaho. You don't believe me? This is how it works for anybody who doesn't believe this. And so the park was there. Yellowstone National Park was there before there were even states yet. So the whole park falls under the jurisdiction of Wyoming. So if you murder someone in the Zone of Death, Idaho, you get extradited back to Wyoming. But it's your constitutional right to be tried in the state and the district of where you commit the crime. And if, as a defendant, you get to choose between a judge and a jury. And if you choose jury, no one lives in that part of Idaho because it's all federal land. And there's no jury of your peers to prosecute you, and you get to walk. That's it. There's no joke here. It's more of a life hack. I don't know what's more disturbing, that I know this much about it, or how quiet you guys just got. I saw some of your eyes, and I was like, pencils down, pencils down. I'm an accomplice now. I didn't know this. You guys know this? After you have a kid, you have to continue to work on your relationship. Thanks for the tip. Everyone's like, get sleep. It's true. Now I'm in like a hurry up offense trying to make things right, you know? So now with like everything opening back up, I told my wife, I was like, hey, I want to take you to dinner. And she got so excited. Like she put on this like beautiful dress. She did her makeup, her hair, like she looked gorgeous. I mean, she always does, but like she just looked so gorgeous and she was so excited. And then I took her to Chipotle. Look, I love Chipotle, okay? I stand by that decision. I know it's just like a Taco Bell that went to a good school. But it's my favorite place to go, okay? We got there, she waited in the car, she wasn't hungry anymore, and I walk in, I knew it wasn't going to be a good experience between me and the girl working there, because we just weren't on the same page, you know? Like, she didn't want to be there, and I really did. And I went up to the counter, and I was like, hey, do you guys sell tacos individually? And she was like, what? No, we work as a team. I was like, what? We both just broke each other's brains with dumb questions and responses. And if I don't understand what you say, I just agree. I'm just like, oh, yeah. And she goes, hard or soft? I'm like, oh my God, we're moving forward. Okay. Go hard. She goes, we're out of hard. Like, you can't offer that as an option then. And I got so mad, I had to talk myself down. Because like I know, I look like the type of lady that would send an email. I was like, look, at least she's at Chipotle, right? Nothing's wrong with Chipotle. Just at least she's there and not in like the delivery room of a hospital. going up to moms in labor, like, you want to go natural or you want the epidural? And they're like, epidural. And she's like, we're out epidurals, brother. Me and my wife, we do keep things fun and exciting. We always pick like fun, different date nights to do. Like one time I took my wife to the Philly Auto Show, which is a really cool thing to do. But we know nothing about cars. Like the only thing we know about cars is you don't flash your headlights because it could be a gang initiation. We walk in, we don't know what we're doing. We're just like, it's a red one, it's blue. We just identified colors and we were nailing it, guys. Magenta kind of tripped us up a bit, but we didn't know what to do after like 20 minutes, so we just ended up we're like, hey, I wonder if there's a Hyundai exhibit. I wonder if your car's here. And we went and we found her Elantra in the showroom, and we're like, oh my God, this is so exciting. This is just like your car that we drove here in. We sat in it, we started mashing the buttons. We're like, oh, this is so great. What does this do? Like, people at the booth over are pretending to be James Bond in an Aston Martin. They're pretending to be Batman in the Batmobile. And we were just role-playing our next trip to Target. It was... One time I took my wife to a movie night at the Trocadero. If you've never been, it's a rock club, so it's standing room only. So what they do for movie night is they rent a bunch of plastic folding chairs. The kind that could maybe hold the weight of an American Girl doll. And the movie that night was Revenge of the Nerds. So you can get an idea for the body type, right? Hefty, okay. Movie starts about 5 minutes in. Behind me, I just hear... They stop the movie, they turn on the lights, they're like, oh my God, what happened? Is everybody okay? Some guy fell through his chair. And I'm just like, what a doofus. Woo, like, so glad it wasn't me, right? The guy was fine, the chair will never walk again. But they got him a new one and they started the movie over. Couple minutes later, over here, somebody else falls through their chair. This time, they don't even stop the movie. And now everyone in there starts glancing back at me like I'm their horse. And here's the thing, I could feel the chair giving too, okay? It was like a little plastic atlas, just like, I got you! I got you! Like it was trying to impress a girl chair. Like, it's not heavy. And I was doing that thing you do, you know, like when you're in a public restroom where you hover over the seat. But I don't have the core strength to do this for 90 minutes. So I go to option B, which is just sitting down and spilling out on the chairs next to mine. Trying to be as weightless as possible. And at that point, my wife jumped up. She's like, hey, I'm going to go get some popcorn. Do you want anything? And I'm just like, no! Unless they have balloons. And get all the balloons, let's tie them to this chair. I am scared. I was terrified. But I thought about it. I was like, also, I was that chair's Vietnam. Because I'm seeing staffers bring in the fresh chairs, and then cart off the mangled ones. Well, for 90 minutes, just all around me in the darkness, all I'm hearing is just boom, boom, boom. It just sounded like people were being raptured. Boom. Like two giants were playing Guess Who. Like, is he a weird shape? Yes. Terrifying. Me and my wife were high school sweethearts. Yeah, feel like Danny Tanner's going to come out and start giving you guys a speech now. Thank you. High school sweethearts. You know what they say, if you love something, let yourself go, right? It's weird. It's like we were high school. It's like we played a game of MASH and thought it was legally binding. It's like we also live in a shack with our children, Jonathan, Taylor, and Thomas. It's great. I don't know. We still celebrate our dating anniversary. We're that couple, you know, the couple that celebrates every little occasion. The couple everyone hates. Like it was like, oh, babe, it's been 3 years since you threw a rock at my face at that Hubestang concert. Let's get Carrabba's. And we do. And Hubestang's there. Lead singer's our waiter. And my wife's like, honey, do you know that guy? And I'm like, no, but I've seen his dick. It's weird. I don't know. This year she wanted to do something special for our dating anniversary. She wanted to go on a hot air balloon ride. I'd rather shave each other's eyebrows. No way. I've never seen a hot air balloon land safely. Usually those things hit the ground and then drag for 30 feet while everyone inside scream and their bones break. I was on YouTube. I saw a video. It said, hot air balloon lands safely. So I clicked on it. It just said, this video cannot be played. This is cool. I found this out. This is true. If you die in a hot air balloon accident, on your death certificate, it says, cause of death, whimsy. That's kind of cool. I'm not going to lie. A little over a year ago, there was a hot air balloon that had to make an emergency landing in North Philly. Does anyone remember this? In Kensington. While the sun was setting. And you know it's just rich people in those baskets, right? With hot air balloon money. And so I would have loved to have been there, like when the pilot had to break that news, you know? He's just like, hey, everyone stay calm, but we have to make an emergency landing. And they're like, oh my God, that's terrible. He's like, it gets worse. We have to land in Kensington. What? No, crash it. Can't we just sully it into the river? And you know that pilot was scared too, right? Because like not even 5 minutes after that thing hit the ground, it was in a pawn shop. But I feel bad for the people of Kensington though, because could you imagine that? You're just going about your day, minding your own business, just trying to sell a microwave, and you look up and you see a hot air balloon just descending upon your town. Like gentrification just raining down. They're like, we got one coffee shop and now it's Hipster Independence Day. That would be a great movie, by the way. Hipster Independence Day. It's like, oh no, the aliens are coming. What do we do? Call my dad. Movie over. So high school sweethearts. 17 years. It's pretty great. That's how long we've been together. 17 years. It's cool. No, it's... What I've learned when you've been together that long is like you still love each other, just unconditionally. It's just you care a little less. You know what I mean? Like I remember when we got our first apartment, we couldn't wait to sit on a love seat together and watch Netflix. Like that was the perfect night. Then we just got our own couches. Way more perfecter. We order our own dinners now. My Uber Eats guy will pick up her Grubhub guy on the way over. You love each other, you just care a little bit less. Like, you can tell how long a couple has been together by how they put sunscreen on each other. Do you ever see a new couple at the beach? It's Cinemax After Dark. They're rubbing lotion in their hand for like a half hour. You hear a saxophone, there's a candle. You're like, oh my God, I'm sorry, I'll give you some space. Do you ever see a couple that's been together over 10 years put sunscreen on each other? It's like they're egging a teacher's house. They're like, hey, do my back? You're like, sure. Run! Somebody invented spray-on suntan lotion so they wouldn't have to touch their wife anymore. That's terrible. Could you imagine the pitch meeting too? The guy's like, yeah, it's in an aerosol can. They're like, the ozone. They're like, yeah, but have you seen Margaret? Approved. You love each other, you care a little bit less. Like, another way you can tell how long a couple has been together is by how they react to their spouse not wearing their seatbelt. Like, I remember early in our relationship, like, if one of us weren't wearing our seatbelt, I'd stop the car and be like, babe, what are you doing? I love you, babe. Buckle up. We used to hold hands. The other day, I was driving, I was wearing my seatbelt, and I see my wife out of the corner of my eye just reach over, unclick my seatbelt. It's like, true love! I don't know. I take Uber a lot, but I can't afford Uber, so I take Uber Pool, which, if you don't know by now, it's just a middle-class bus. One time I was in the back seat of one and the driver was in the front seat. Usually that's how it goes. And a ride pops up and a girl gets in, but she gets in the front seat, right? And I'm like, fine, that's whatever, it's fine. I'm married anyway, it's no big deal. Driver looks at where he has to take her, and then he starts yelling at her for being out of the way. Like, she didn't pick him. And that's his only job, and he's mean about it. He's like, you're out of the way, you're out of the way, you're out of the way. And she's uncomfortable. And like a gentleman, I said, nothing. Just sitting in the back seat like, somebody should do something about this. And he settled down, but it was still really tense, you know? It's like, I didn't know how it could get any more awkward. And it's like he heard me think that, because he leans back to me and he says this, and this is 100% true. He just goes, my sister-in-law died today. Oh my God, I don't know this guy. I'm like, oh, why are you driving? Do you want me to drive? Jeez. I go, what happened? He goes, she was in Dubai selling jewelry, and there was a fire at her hotel. And she was on the 12th floor, so she jumped. What kind of jewelry? Like, what do you say in that situation? I'm like, that's terrible. He goes, yeah, everyone else survived. They took the stairs. And I'm waiting for him to be like, just kidding, and he doesn't. And before I could say anything, the girl in the front seat was like, maybe the stairs were out of the way. And I was like, oh my God! It's a 5-star ride right there. I like taking Uber because I hate driving. I have a lot of road rage, right? Me? Yes, I have a lot of, that's my place to have it, is in the car. Like, if one of you guys say one mean thing to me tonight, I will get in that car and be like, ha-ha, no one's merging tonight. Some unsuspecting Toyota's gonna get it. It's my version of golfing, okay? There was an incident, I mean, there's a lot of them, but one time I was on my way to work in the morning, and all that traffic was making me late, and this big box truck decided to, like, he was going around like a stopped car, so he drove into my lane, and as he did that, I had to slam on my brakes as he got by me, right? So as he drove by me in this big box truck, I flipped him off. But it's 8 a.m., so it wasn't like a ha! It was more like a It was a soft one. Right? And as he gets by me, I come to a full stop at a red light. And I look in my rear view, and I see this box truck pull up onto the curb, and a guy in a full work uniform, so a man, he jumps out of the truck, turns towards my car, and starts running, open fist, like Terminator 2 style. And I'm like, he's not coming to my car, right? Like, I flipped him off, but it was a soft one. Like, maybe he dropped his phone? And so he gets to my window, and I'm just like, all right, this is where my karate training is going to kick in, right? The moment he says something mean, I'm just going to hit him with the door. And he's like, roll your window down. And I'm like, yes, sir, anything you need. And here it comes. He's just like, why did you flip me off? Why? Like a bad actor in a Lifetime movie. Just, why? He just genuinely wanted to know why. And I felt terrible because I ruined this guy's day. I could tell he's going to get back in his truck and start targeting joggers. He's going to go yell at his family after work. And I felt awful. And immediately, all I wanted to do was apologize. But I can't because I'd look like a coward. Because then I would look like a coward. So I went with, fuck you, pussy, and I pepper sprayed him. I don't know, I do a lot of dumb things in my car. Like one time I got my car washed at a high school. Which, don't ever do it. They're like, it's for a good cause. It's never for a good cause. I'll tell you what happened. I stroll up in my Ford Pervert. They're like, do you want to get out of your car or stay in? I was like, no, I'll stay in. Didn't realize that was the creepier option. Never stay in the car. I could hear them go, ew, as soon as I said it. They're like, okay, turn off your car. And I do. And I start sweating immediately, just like I am now. And then the hoses start. And now I'm trapped in what feels like a display case for a sexual predator Beanie Baby. Just like. And I don't know if you've ever seen high schoolers wash cars. I have. What they do is they start low with the tires and then they build to the windshield in this giant crescendo. And I'm doing everything I can not to look. I'm turning my head like you're trying to feed a toddler mashed carrots. I'm like, no! No! Or be honest, me, mashed carrots. I'm like, no! No! I start reading the owner's manual. I'm like, oh. Oh, wow, that's where my gas tank is. Doing everything I can not to look, and out of nowhere, these two bombshells just plop on the windshield. And I'm like, oh my God! So I turn the wipers on. But they catch it. And they're like, ah! And I'm like, ah! And then it was over. And I'm just sweating and crying, covered in KY jelly. My Uber passenger's like, what the hell? It's the last time I'll get my car washed by a boys lacrosse team. All right, guys. Thank you so much. I love you. Bye.